here I have with me is our dear sister. If our brother is the father of the movement in Oakland, then let me introduce you to the mother of the movement. Our sister, Lori Hoye.
All right. I'm not really sure what to say, but I think today Oakland just took a step back in history to Alabama.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
I was just listening to George Wallace telling black folk, you can't be on the sidewalk, you can't cross this line. There is a zone that you are prohibited from being at. And the fact that Judge Hing is a coward, he is a complete and total coward. Right. He had the power to blow it all away and decided to abdicate and blame the city council and blame 12 jurors who had such convoluted instructions that they thought the UPS guy was somebody that you were unable to approach. Okay, so he cannot say he ran this trial properly. His alleged First Amendment instruction, he wouldn't let the lawyers argue the First Amendment. And his instruction was so nebulous down at the bottom on page 14, I doubt that the jury even paid attention to it at all. This is a travesty of justice. This is the most egregious miscarriage of justice I have seen in my lifetime. And the fact that the city of Oakland, the city council voted unanimously, I challenged them on a roll call vote to pass this ordinance on Martin Luther King's birthday, January 15, 2008, is another issue that needs to be taken up. Every last one of them needs to be wiped out of the city council. Nancy Nadell, point one. She is the main one behind this. She sat her butt in this courtroom for 2 days. What is the city councilwoman doing in a courtroom on a misdemeanor trial for 2 days? The city attorney was sitting in her car taking pictures. She hasn't produced one of them, but she was sitting in her car taking pictures. The tax dollars of Oakland are being utilized to railroad one man who had the nerve to stand on the sidewalk and say, God loves you and your baby. Stop killing black people in Oakland. And the city of Oakland is just letting it happen. I also challenge the African American pastors in this city need to be ashamed. Not one of them has shown their face at a city council meeting. Not one of them has shown their face in this courtroom. Not one of them has opened their mouth and said boo to anybody about what's going on here, and yet they want to sit around and say black life is important. How is it important? 100 lives a week are taken at that clinic. They're making $60,000, $150,000 of taxpayer Medicaid money in this city at 200 Webster, and the pastors are nowhere to be found. And that they're gonna have to come to grips with God with that. Every 72 seconds in this country, a black baby loses their life to abortion. And every 72 seconds, every time one woman walks in, 2 people get hurt, 3 people get hurt. The baby loses their life. The mother is walking wounded, and the man who is the father of that child, his seed has been destroyed, and he has no recourse. It's gotta stop, and it's gotta stop now. And until we stand up and say no more. You know, if we need to be at the city council every day, when it comes time for public comment, which they allow at the beginning of every city council meeting, we need to be there saying, hey, you people are wrong. You have put my husband in jail for simply standing up for his First Amendment rights, and you are allowing the abortion clinic to kill people, to take our money, and they even get special privileges. The court is supposed to be first come, first served. No, for them, we set aside a section so they can come and sit down, because they have to have a seat. They can stay in the courtroom when we get put out. And it's supposed to be equal. There are no equal rights in this city. There's one set of folk that got rights, and the rest of us are going to be subject to jail, to penalties, to fines, until we stand up and say, hey, it's our city, and we're not going to take it anymore. And so I challenge Tim Reed. I challenge Nancy Nadell. I challenge Nancy Quan. I challenge Desiree Brooks. They all sat there and did nothing. They're black people. Desiree Brooks and Tim Reed are African Americans who are allowing the death of African Americans to happen in their city. The blood is on their hands. The blood is on their hands. They cannot claim innocence. They cannot claim they don't know. They are complicit in the deaths of thousands of children in this city. They're complicit in the wounding of thousands of women, of thousands of men, and they need to be held accountable. Their feet need to be held to the fire. Maybe they need to be in this courtroom and go to jail. But something needs to to happen to these people, because this is just ridiculous. And I don't know, I don't know. I just cannot believe what I have witnessed today. It is ridiculous. George Wallace would be proud.
All right.
Wonderful.